Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Horror, the podcast. I am your host, Kevin L. Powers. I'm also the owner, operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Event, and I want to welcome you to our show. So, what we do in our show is that I and a special guest come in and we kind of critique, analyze a single horror film for your listening pleasure. Now, because we've been delving deep into all different types of genres and subgenres and decades and everything from the horror genre, we are designing our show to kind of give you an overview of all the different types of films out there that encompass our genre that we all so dearly love. That being said, the movie that we are talking about today is a classic horror film. And before I get to the title of the movie, I would like to introduce our two guests today, because we have two guests to talk about this movie.
When you say classic, though, you mean it's old. But when you say classic,
I do mean that, Dave, yeah. And that is the voice of Dave Watkins, who's on the show, and John Conkle, right. Both on the show today. Thank you guys for joining in.
Yeah, if you stick around long enough, you become respectable. You know, that's what these mummy movies are. You know, They've withstood the test of time, and so now all of a sudden they're classics.
Yeah, but the first one's a classic. I'm not sure about this one. But...
Yeah.
And we are speaking in terms of mummy movies, as you might already have guessed, and we are talking specifically about Universal Studios' The Mummy's Ghost from 1944. This is this fourth film in the franchise now, Dave? I think it's fourth.
This is the fourth film in the Mummy franchise, the Universal Mummies. But it's the third one of the Karras mummy, because the first mummy's a completely different timeline, different mummy.
Totally different guy. Yeah, the sequel was a reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to mention because it's someone who may have skipped this one because it's one of the latter sequels. May not actually know that, but it's good to remind people, even if you have seen this, that after the original first movie, they started on a whole new timeline with different characters, and this is the third one in that timeline, which kind of bridges these films together. So, hopefully, you will have looked out for the other episodes on all of the other previous Mummy movies. If you have not listened to those, I do implore you to go out there and search them out. You will hear us talking about those in preparation for this one.
Yeah.
So
there's 5 Mummy movies total. So and you can also watch the movies themselves, so it might be more entertaining to hear us talking about them. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I'll give you some context. Yeah, this is the Bride of Chucky edition of the Mummy movie, or Jaws: The Revenge. I'm just trying to think about part 4s, and everything. Or Universal's movies in general, I mean, they've always been a house of horrors, but then you go by the time you get to part 4.
It's kind of rare for there to be this many of them. I think this is the only one. There's 5 of them. Most of the other ones only had like 3.
Yeah, I can't remember how many Dracula had. I think
Dracula peters out quick.
There was like Dracula. Let's take Son of Dracula and then Daughter of Dracula, and then those 2 Monster Mash movies.
Mashups.
Frankenstein had 4, right?
Frankenstein had a lot of them. Frankenstein's a lot better than the Mummy franchise. Almost all of those are pretty good.
Yeah.
I love the one where it's Bela Lugosi playing Igor.
That's the son of Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein's mostly based on that. That one's great though.
I love it. There's one shot in that movie that I just love so much because it's like such a monster moment. It was like the guys it's outside the castle and they're like there's commotion or something, but then they pan up. And it's like Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff like looking out a window, and it just looks like, I don't know. It's just such an image.
But it's cool seeing Bela Lugosi and them together like that.
Yeah. And monster makeup.
Bela Lugosi playing Igor though. That's friggin' like great though.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't even know it was him hardly.
Absolutely.
So when we start talking about Universal films, we go back to the ones that we actually really like instead of the ones we talk about. But that's okay. Because unfortunately, for all the monsters that Universal created, the Mummy is kind of like the most almost most uninteresting one because he walks really slowly and you
That's
think
it.
that people would be able to get away from him really fast, but they don't. So there's a
Right.
suspension of disbelief in these movies that you have to have in order to enjoy them. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
yeah, this movie, like the other Mummy movies, is only an hour long.
yeah.
Most of them are pretty short, but this one it's right at an hour. Unlike most of the other ones, they kind of try to get in that ballpark for them.
Well, what I found out interesting about this film is that they brought back George Zuko as the high priest, which I didn't realize until I rewatched. It's like,
Yeah,
did he die in the last movie? But we're
I
gonna
think
bring him back anyway.
I
yeah,
didn't
I
realize
yeah,
that was the same actor
yeah.
at the
Nah,
beginning.
and then I think he just maybe went to sleep in the other one. We all assumed that he died, but I think he's just taking a nap.
He was like, I'm not dead yet.
I think
Say that because
Y'all took my job.
me and Dave had a theory on that from the last movie that after the high priest kind of brings in his acolyte to take over, that they automatically die. So,
Yeah. They just
but
drop dead.
yeah, they drop dead, but then this
Well,
one brought them back.
yeah, well, they brought him back.
Okay.
They brought him back in the other one too, because remember he dies in the Mummy's
yeah.
hand as well.
I
And
didn't
then-
realize.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was supposed to be the same guy at the beginning of this one.
Yeah.
I noticed his hands were shaking. It goes, he's real old, but I didn't put it together. This
They
guy
kill
has,
it. They kill it with that old acting, the hand shaking. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I thought, I didn't realize it was the same actor because in the first one he kind of has a Frank Langella kind of vibe about him, you know. This one didn't even recognize him. He's got the worst training program ever. He just says like, here's the most important thing you can do. Go do it. They always fail. He's back at the beginning trying to get a new temp to fill in this position. You know, it's terrible.
It's actually like hilarious. Like it's almost like a comedic running joke, even though it's not supposed to be funny.
Right.
But like some people say it's lazy writing, that they're just going to redo the same thing every time. But I think it's hilarious.
By the time you get to this one and everything, where you've seen basically the formula play out twice, you know, with the same tropes. And the two other times. So when you see it again this time, you're going like, oh my God, here we go again, man. They didn't even really bother. It was like a copy paste, you know.
But they did cast John Carradine as the new guy, Yosef Bey. He's the new apprentice, apprentice high priest.
Yeah. And it breathes life into it, man. John Carradine kills it, dude.
Yeah.
He's a reason to watch the movie. I mean, there's a couple of good reasons to watch the movie, but John Carradine, seeing young, gaunt, cadaverous John Carradine, because I was going like, I didn't get into Carradine until he was old, you know, The Howling is how I was introduced to Carradine.
He's in Grapes of Wrath. You ever see that?
Yeah, absolutely, and great. He's supposedly a Shakespearean actor. I mean, he's just done everything, and his performance here is great. But once they come over and they meet a fine lady, man. They just throw that priesthood right again.
Yeah, but it's funny that it takes him almost until like the last 10 minutes to even see her on screen. But once he does, that's it.
So I was about to make comment to that too. I was like, because the only thing that's really different is that we get the reincarnation this time of Ananka, which then he's played up in the modern day Brandon Fraser mummy movies. But we get that finally.
Well, kind of.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's almost there. Yeah, you do, but you don't. It's like all that was the part I liked the most. It's
interesting because see the first one of this, the Karras story, and this was done in the Hammer film in one film, but like, the first one was. They go and they got Ananka's tomb, but we don't even see Ananka really.
No.
The second one, she's not in it. There's some mention that they got her stuff, and this one we finally see the museum and we see her stuff and her sarcophagus.
Right, in the mummy's hand, I guess, the first one of this series. They say like, we got it all on the boat. It's going over there. You don't see it. You never see. I was going like, I was going, when are we going to finally see Anaka come back,
Yeah.
or get them back together, And so finally, this resolves that in a way, it does.
Right.
Emotionally, it does,
There's some, there's this movie is actually compared to especially the previous one, it
Mhm.
does a lot better with getting you into the movie without
Yep.
showing like 30 minutes of flashback stuff.
That's
Yes.
it. That's
And
it.
they actually do it fairly creatively too. They do it through that priest thing, but then it cuts to a professor talking about it in a class, which is a lot better than
Yeah.
seeing the damn flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's-
I
Yeah.
wanted to make comment on that because we made comment of that in the previous episode of how they were just reusing the footage to get the audience caught up. And in this one, it's much more creative because we see the main character and the professor talking in the classroom setting, and that's how the story unfolds for the most
Yeah.
part.
And my fingers were just crossed, going like, "Oh man, please say the Latin term for the Tanis leaves. Come on!" And he doesn't do it.
I
And I was
did.
so
Yeah.
mad. I was so mad. But I was watching this, and it's real interesting that you guys are going to watch Bride of Reanimator, because I was going like, "Oh, he's going like this guy is going to figure out all you have to do is boil these leaves and drink it, and you live forever."
Yeah. But you have to boil 9 of them
Nine.
on the full
Nine.
moon. On
Nine on the full moon.
So
Well, I mean, he would eventually have gotten it. He would eventually
Yeah.
have translated and realized, hey, man, dude,
This
I'm
guy's
going to
been
be
trying.
so rich.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so rich.
he only has so
Um,
many Tana leaves though, and he's been trying this shit for like a year, and he finally decides to read the back of the box. He's like, wait a minute, the instructions were there the whole time,
Well, the funny thing is trying to figure out how he even got any of the Tana leaves, because you got to remember in part the mummy's hand, that all of the leaves were stolen from the
Right.
tomb. So how the hell did
But
he get them?
he knows what Tana leaves are. Everybody knows what Tana leaves
Yeah.
are.
Yes,
I mean, there's like
I think they actually say how, but I
Well, it
didn't write
does.
that down.
Remember, because they're not supposed to be in existence anymore. Remember,
oh,
in the second movie, they said they're not in existence anymore. They're whatever they have is what was in
But-
that one big urn.
Yeah, but that's where he got them from. That's what they actually say he got it from that. There's actually some continuity stuff on purpose that they just ignore.
And
They
then
changed
Yeah.
the name of the priest too from now it's called Arkham. Before it was Karnak. Karnak's a real place. I guess they were like not wanting to offend people anymore.
oh my god, yeah, with these strange horror mummy movies, they want to
Yeah.
offend anybody.
Because those priests always look like fools, so it's
Well, again, guys, at the beginning of the movie, when they tell you what it is like, go back there go to America and get Karis,
Yep.
get the girl, bring him back, stick him in the tomb. And I was going
that's
like,
his mission. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm going like, great mission.
Yeah.
I think he is on the same side as the Americans here. I think he's going to do everybody a favor. I'm on, again, the Egyptian side. I'm on the cultist side. I'm going like, that is a great plan. And it was one of those movies, it's kind of like Indiana Jones, like Raiders. Had they just left the guy alone, he would have gotten the mummy and the girl and been back and fixed their problem. It's kind of like Indiana Jones. Like, had Indiana Jones not done anything, the Nazis would have opened the Ark and all been vaporized, and same ending.
Yeah.
As if they would have ever found it, they would.
Yeah. Well, oh, that's true. That's true. Basically, yeah. Indy goes like, it's right over here. Oh, crap. Yeah, right. They wouldn't have even found it. Yeah, so I'm going like, so at the beginning, I'm just going like, all right, cool. I'm on the bad guys' side. I know they're supposed to be the bad guys, but I'm kind of like, I agree with their mission. And so
Yeah, but it's that thing with that, like the absolute power goes to your head. And once you get that power, once you see you can live forever by drinking the Tana leaves and also have like a hot like wife that you just don't, it doesn't even know you.
No,
Or doesn't even, you don't even know if she's going to like you or not, but
Nope.
you're just going to take her anyway.
kind of like
Once
in time, you'll learn to love me.
Once you see that's a possibility, it's like screw all this high priest like
Yeah.
religion.
They just come over, they hit America, and they go like, oh my gosh, cheeseburgers and chicks.
he stays like pretty straight and narrow. The first thing he does is goes out into the woods and sets up in the woods instead of going into a mortuary, you know.
Right.
So he's in the middle of the woods. I don't know what the heck that second location is, but it's some kind of the big ass ramp, like a barrel rolling ramp.
Oh, you got to feel bad for the mummy going up and down that ramp, man.
Yeah, but visually speaking, it looks like the tomb that the acolytes walking up at the very beginning of the movie, like in the very first one that we see.
Yes.
Yeah. Which it shows it again in this one too.
Yeah, they showed it again in this one. So it's a visual cue, but what the hell is that?
Yeah, but we just feel bad for them. But they should have had Carradine roll down the thing. To do a mirror of that other one.
But they throw him off the side of the thing.
Yeah,
so I guess,
it's kind of close. It's kind of close. But they don't just shoot him in cold blood. I like the fact that the mummy is the one that actually has some integrity here. He's going like, wait a second, dude. You know, it's like, what are we even doing here? Why am I following you? I mean, you're now moving in on my lady and everything. It's like, he's the one that is, I don't know.
Yeah,
you can get behind
that mummy seems like he's like, I've been bamboozled by these friggin' high priests like 3 times now. You know, it's like.
You're right. Man. I mean, he's got to have some type of insight on that. It doesn't matter what these high priests have him do; it never ends well for him.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I'm just doused. I mean, these bandages. I mean, I guess are just doused in kerosene because every time I catch on fire and burned alive.
That's another funny thing is they don't even address him being burned. I can't. It looked like maybe he might be slightly burned. But they just ignore that too.
They ignore that too.
That got on my nerves.
They do say that he was burned up in the house, but in the conversation that they have at the very beginning, but he don't look burned, and they don't show where he comes from when he finally comes out of the woodwork. He
just wanders out from behind a bush.
He comes out though, which is hilarious because the guy reads the back of the box and he's like, it's 9 Tana leaves during the full moon. And so he does that, and that immediately draws the mummy. The mummy's just been out there like a crack addict, sniffing for those canna leaves. And the second you burn 9 of them, he comes out of the woods.
I know he's like, I heard you were holding, man. You know. Yeah. No, he comes in. I think the guy was going like, man, if I did it by the full moon, the professor was about to figure it out. The professor was on the verge of being a billionaire and selling like the key to immortality to like big pharma and everything. He just needed a cup of tea and to think about it for 5 seconds, and you realize what he had here. You know,
the mummy comes in there and kills him.
Yeah,
I don't know why he kills the guy, but he could have just came and drank the Tana leaves but he wants to kill the guy anyway. I guess he's just like woke up in a bad mood, you know.
That's very interesting what you said, because he wasn't. I mean, that professor wasn't getting in his way, and the professor wasn't someone who had been in a tomb. There was you're right. There was no actual reason why he would kill it. He should have just gone straight for the leaves, and that should have been it.
But then the other guy, the high priest, does a similar thing, but he doesn't kill him. But I guess he actually lets the high priest control him.
Yeah. He's like, that's the only thing. That's a little thing where I'm a little blurry on the mummy. You know, it's like I like to think that the mummy is trying to get as many Tana leaves so he can regain his autonomy back and stop being like a puppet to this cult religion that's like using him as their muscle. You know, so that's that and that. And of course, then he gets his autonomy back. Then he can get back with his lady and go back to the tomb, and everything. He just wants to be in eternity with his lady, And but these guys, these goons, I mean, these goons just keep messing it up for him. But yeah. So that's in my mind, that's what he's trying to do. But
maybe he has to build up that stamina with the Tana leaves, but it's
he's got to get to 12. He's got to do 12.
12-step program.
Yeah, he's just got to get 12.
It's interesting because in the first 2 movies, he actually has a purpose. He's killing the people who in his tomb and all that, and he's killing the family members that are associated with that, which we discussed in the other episodes. But in this one, he just really is like he doesn't really have a purpose per se.
Agreed.
It is
Agreed.
really the high priest's job to get him and Ananka back.
Right.
And of course they're thinking it's like this the corpse of Ananka until she's reincarnated into
Right.
a new body. So a lot of the stuff that happens in this film is kind of questionable, but it's kind of like, well, we need a plot to have the mummy survive, come out, kill people. We may not have a reason for it this time around, but it's there.
Yeah. Well, all that being said, I will say that I really found this entertaining as hell.
Oh yeah.
I was much more entertained by this one than the previous one. I was just like, man, this is like ridiculous, the same thing again, but better. It's better paced, I think,
But there was one or two things better about it. Yeah, the John Carradine element added a lot for me. And also the mummy makeup was so much better in this. Well, I thought as in it wasn't just a mask. I looked it up a little bit. In the last one, I guess that was hand or tomb.
The tomb. And that's another thing. There's no tomb in the tomb, and there's no ghost in the mummy's ghost.
Right.
And there's no real mummy's hand in the mummy's hand either, other than he has a hand. But what is the point? But
it's the ghost of Ananka.
That's right. I mean, it's the chick ghost.
Yeah. You're right. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about the other mummy, Karis. But there's two mummies in this
ghost. One. Yeah, right. Then we got two of them.
Ananka never. You're right. In Mummy, but she never actually wakes up like. Karis.
But the ghost is like a reincarnated version of Ananka that goes into what's her name? Amina character. But about the mask, though, you were saying. So originally it was a mask before, and this one it's actually prosthetics. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Well, it was the old school, just layers of collagen and stretching. I saw Jack Pierce's name in the credits. I was going, oh, Jack Pierce is doing. He did the original. I mean, I guess he did them all, but I guess they were just in such a rush on the last one. It was just kind of a pullover mask, and so you couldn't even it didn't even need to be Lon Chaney in the last one, but in this one here, it was actually on his face, and it was actually a makeup job, and so
it looks better,
he was actually able to emote a little bit. I was going like, okay, I can see that's Lon Chaney in this one at least.
He seems to be more fit in this one too than the previous one,
dude. So. He's like barrel chested and just I mean, he's slow as hell, but it's just like you felt bad. I mean, it's always like as inept as the mummy is, or slow, and he's got one hand tied to his chest, the people attacking him are like the worst combat people. And I was going like, this is like all during the war and everything. It's like you can see why they're not fighting, because
right.
These guys just and they're like one hand, slow as hell. They still get knocked out and thrown around. I mean, they just freeze and wait for him to strangle him.
Tom gets knocked out a lot in this movie.
Oh god, our hero was just not.
Well, the hero is the dog.
Yes, I was about to say that. The hero is the dog. The dog leads everyone everywhere in this movie. I had forgotten about that until we watched it.
That Tom character is pretty. I mean, actually, I do like kind of how the back and forth with some of the stuff that he does, because just him. The first time you see him in the class, and he comes in and you meet that what's her name? How do you pronounce it again? Amina, like amino acid, or
that's amino acid. But
Amina if it's Spanish, but he comes in. She's in the library, and he just happens to pick up a mummy book that's nearby, and she's like freaking out about that. And it's like she's like, I'm Egyptian, and every time I hear about the mummy, I just like shudder. So, but it's because she's like got that reincarnated Ananka soul in her.
Right.
But it's like I'm starting to kind of put these mummies movies are starting to blend, but I can't remember if it was like the Boris Karloff version or the Hammer Mummy film. But there was like that sort of same idea of the person. There's two souls, because you got Ananka's soul, and you also got this other person. There's like two souls there that are fighting against each other, but it doesn't go into it very much in this one, because
not in this one. No,
But it's there. But the actress is really good, though. I really liked her
She's
performance.
great. And when she started getting the streak of white hair, I was going like, man, I was like, she is beautiful and really good in it. Yeah,
like some Bride of Frankenstein looking stuff with that hair. But yeah, the first time she sees the mummy and passes out, when she wakes back up, one of her hairs is big chunk of her hair is white.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of interesting concepts in this movie, like she sleepwalks, or she goes into the so-called Ananka kind of phase, and she comes across Karis that way, and she knows when Karis is around, which is when she goes into this whole sleepwalking thing. And then of course, when she's taken over completely by the Ananka's spirit, which is when they realize that the Ananka mummy disappears, and they know that she's been reborn into another body. It's a sad story, to be honest. It's a really sad story because she doesn't have any other physicality in the movie for the rest of the movie. She's just captured by the mummy and then slowly turning into a mummy again, which is really, really, really sad. It's like, depressing.
It's depressing, but it's also like it's a pretty hard hitting ending when that ending happens the way that it does, and it does stick with you.
I
agree.
That's one of the, as many faults as we can find for this film, leaves you with something by the end of it. It's not like a happy couples reunion film like the other mummy films.
But in a way it is a reunion between the mummy and his bride. So I mean, I was kind of like, oh good, there's emotional closure for the mummy, because I'm kind of always on the mummy side.
You're on the mummy side, but I'm on Amina's side, and Amina did not ask to have a freaking another Ananka spirit take over and turn her into a mummy.
That's true. Well, this is the thing. This is sort of the meat I got out of this movie on this one, was that I thought it was real interesting. Okay. Again, the historical context of it being wartime, and America was rounding up the Japanese citizens and putting them in internment camps. And here we have this immigrant American who, one of the greatest scenes for me was when she's in Makeout Lane with her boyfriend, and he's going like, why do you keep bringing up all that Egyptian stuff? Why do you keep acting so weird? And she goes like, I'm sorry, I'll stop acting weird. I'll stop doing this. I'll start acting like how you want me to act, And I was going like, I think the movie's subtext for me was about the immigrant experience during the wartime and the pressure to conform to an idealized or what is a normal American woman supposed to be, And so I think there was a lot of distrust against people from other places at the time. I mean, we were rounding up the Japanese. If you had probably German heritage, so here's a person who is of another country, and so there's suspicion about her, and so I think it's unfair for her, but I think it does play on the anxiety that Americans probably had during wartime with being a nation of immigrants, and who do you trust? Who's a spy? I thought John Carradine seemed like a secret agent in this one, kind of like standing off to the side, watching how things are going on. He looked like a double agent in this, but I thought it was very telling. It's the way women are portrayed in these old movies is always they're always very deferential to the male and everything. That's what was so great about Mummy's hand, was the woman was real fast talking, the magician's daughter, which was real good to see. But then now we're like 2 years into the war, or we're, the time period was right around D-Day. I mean, we're in the height of the shit here, And so people's anxiety what's going to happen was high, and so it is kind of like it's kind of like you've got to let go of, you've got to be American, and if you don't completely let go of being from what you were, your past is going to come and drag you down into the mud. You're going to go to the grave. But so that was my take on this. But I really liked the fact. It was sad that she got taken over, but I thought it was like I think it had to do with the anxiety of the day.
I can see that.
There's some subtext that kind of plays into it.
Yeah.
But something, this is kind of unrelated. It was related to it, but it's just something I want to point out that I thought was hilarious. And in the scene where they're in the car they're in the car with the dog, by the way. And the dog's hanging out with them, but and like it is kind of a makeout lane, but there's no makeout because of because the 1944 code or whatever. But they're there with the intention of making out, and maybe doing something else more than that. Right. And then this other guy like comes stumbling out of the woods, and he's just like, "Oh man," he's like, "I just tripped over a stump and like rolled down, and I didn't think I was ever going to stop," And then they're like, "Oh, really?" And the guy's like, "Well, you seem like you're on level ground now. Maybe you should disembark."
Yeah. All right. Hit the road, Jack.
Yeah. Well, he does hit the road, and he ends up being the next person on his list.
It's like, but it's so funny that they make that Tom character say that shit. Like he's like kind of a dick. The guy comes out, and he's like, "Man, I just fell down a fucking cliff." Yeah. And he's like, "Get out of here! I'm trying to make out with my girlfriend, and just you and this dog, It's
No. I wasn't a big fan of that guy. I wasn't a big fan of him. I mean, he just seemed like real. I don't know. I didn't see any heroic qualities. Kid.
Yeah, I just thought. I mean, it was funny though. I mean, I just thought that was. But later on, when she is like starting to freak out, he actually tries to take her out of the situation. He goes to the cop, cop who's kind of a dumbass, the main cop, not the inspector. But he goes to him and he's like, "Hey man, I got to get her out of here. She's like freaking out." And he's like, "I don't see what the problem is. She's needed for this investigation, so you got to stay." And then later on, he's like, "Okay, we're gonna go anyway, but I'm gonna go and sleep first and put pajamas on."
Well, you split it like that, Dave.
No, but he was trying to get her out of there. He legitimately he knew like it wasn't going well. But maybe it was a control issue too. He said something about he had some gypsy parents or something, I think, or something like that.
Gosh, well, I don't know. I don't know. Oh my gosh!
In like some other, like some state, he's going to bring her out there, and they're going to get out of that situation. But yeah,
I think one thing, another unintentional funny thing is just the fact that this mummy has to get around all over town and like go to the museum. And I'm going like, is he riding around in a car? And there was just a part where like the mummy is like just like waiting around outside, for the guy to let him into the museum.
He's like banging on the door.
Yeah, and I'm going like, okay. So I'm just trying to think, like, so was there a planning stage where they're doing this heist?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go in here and now, mummy, you wait outside.
Yeah.
Wait for me to. I feel like it's like the greatest Ocean's 11 movie ever. Like where we could have had all the Universal monsters do a bank heist.
Yeah. I like it when they actually get into the museum and the museum guy's like out there listen to some murder mystery bullshit, and then he doesn't even hear any of it forever. They like go in there and they got this ceremonial lamps and all this other stuff, and it's not until the mummy like flips out and starts crashing shit that he comes in there.
Yeah. Well, that brings up another thing. It's funny with this movie because, like I said, everyone automatically believes everything that happened before is real. Mummies are real.
Oh yeah.
We need to burn the money and mummy out.
Yeah. There's no question about it. It's no question. Everybody's on board with it.
Yeah, but it's weird because those students that first class are like, "Are you sure that really happened? I don't know if it really happened."
Yeah.
But the older
folks know.
No. So
They,
I
But
see that.
not only do they know, they're kind of like they could it could be almost be like a state of PTSD where they just assume everything's the
it's the
mummy.
mummy.
Yeah.
It's
I like
like the
the
town
undead
that dreaded sundown, or
Yeah.
it's just like or it's like Jaws 2, everybody's
Yeah,
like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, it's a shark, it's a shark. It's like it's just this little town in Massachusetts just blames all their ills on the mummy, But
It's funny
it's
because
funny.
no, I don't think in any other movie series do the older people, everyone so willingly believe in the most crazy supernatural thing. Like you
Yeah.
think that everyone would have said, "Oh man, nah, we burned that motherfucking mummy up in the house, man."
Yeah.
No, he ain't
Yeah.
ever coming back. But
There you
no,
go.
they they
Right.
they watched it burn in the last
Hmm.
movie, and then they said, "No, it's got to be the mummy.
Yeah.
Gotta be the mummy."
Well, they see like some mold on the rag, and they go like the mummy or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
it's mold
it's so
again. Yeah.
it's so funny when they say it's so funny when they just say the mummy.
Yeah.
It's just so funny that it's the mummy. Uh, it just
The innocence of the 40s universe,
yeah,
dude. They're so much
true.
fun. And you
Yeah.
have to take into consideration when these movies were made, stuff like what you just said about the anxiety at the time because of the World War and
Yeah.
everything. So, people thought these movies were terrifying when they came out. Well,
Sure.
I believe still that
Maybe.
people back then thought these movies were terrifying. I actually
Yeah.
don't know because I don't
I
know
don't
anyone who
know.
actually was alive back then who watched this movie and could
Yeah.
tell me their actual reactions to when they saw it. But
Yeah.
it's my impression that these were terrifying movies to audiences back then, and they
Right.
left an impression on them.
Right.
There are a few scenes that could be considered scary, especially with the mummy. Just when he kills the guy with he comes into his barn, the dog's barking. He walks into his barn. He's like, "What's going on in my barn?" And the mummy's in there and just comes at him. It's like
You brought up one of the more interesting sequences because the audience is hearing the barking of a dog, and we're assuming it's the little bitty dog with Tom and Amina, when it's really the dog in the barn who's barking at the mummy.
Yeah.
And they don't do that too often, but this movie has this weird theme of dogs and barking in it that flows throughout because obviously Tom's dog, which I can't remember if they ever said his name, is one of the main characters, if not the main characters.
I think he called it. I wrote it down. I think he called it like pecan or something or I got it written down somewhere.
Oh, did you really?
Peanut. He called it Peanut. Is what
He
he
did
called
not
it.
call it Peanut.
Yeah, he calls it Peanut. That may be a nickname, but he
Peanut
does call
was
it
much more brave and resourceful than Tom was. Let me tell
Dude,
you.
that dog was he said, "Oh, it's the mummy. Here, follow me, guys."
Yeah.
Right this way. Come on.
Well,
Get your torches.
Well, the thing about Peanut too is, like at the end of it, no one else gives a shit but Peanut.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, "Okay, it's over." They walk away. Peanut stays, and he's just like, "What just happened? Oh my god!"
I hate to say this. I've seen this movie several times, but it wasn't until I was rewatching it for the podcast that I realized that Peanut stayed. It was like, oh shit, that's some depressing shit. He's like, man, I was with Amina and Tom for so long, and Amina's gone, and
that's right.
I get with
me. And I was like, man, that's an emotional ending for the main character of the movie, because I'm gonna call Peanut
the dog.
Yeah,
right. He's the emotional center.
He gets the last close up of the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't stop laughing as I'm thinking about this out loud. Oh my god. Because this is the only time I've ever talked about it. I've seen this movie several times, but I've never talked about it to anyone else. So I've never had anyone else's opinions or outlook on this film. And I can't recall reading a whole lot about this movie. I know that there have been articles on this movie, but I haven't read a whole lot about this movie.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, even the next one, I hadn't heard a lot about that one either. Really, the only Mummy one. The first two are what most people remember. I think anything past that is kind of like the Mummy just kind of like jumped the shark after the third one,
Yeah, pretty much. I really love the image though of the Mummy. I love watching the Mummy lurk through a scene. I mean, I think he's a really cool design and a really, it's very iconic look to it. So, it's kind of like when I watch a Friday the 13th movie, I just want to see Jason, and when I watch a mummy movie, it's like I kind of just want to see that mummy, I give me that mummy,
You get you get to see him pretty good in these, really.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the good thing about all of them is you get to see a pretty good bit of that mummy.
Yeah.
And the mummy did it a lot too. I mean, they do not hesitate with showing the mummy early in this movie.
That was my problem. I had the same problem, Kevin, was that he didn't seem to have a goal at the beginning. He just sort of wanders into the movie, But I was kind of like, yeah, I could probably find some kind of hoity-toity reason for that or something. But I was just kind of like, it just seemed kind of like, I want to root for you, mummy, but I don't really know what you're up to in this one, But one thing I didn't like about this was there was a lot of day for night photography, and so it was obviously like high noon, and they just processed it in a way to make it a little darker. And they've got the lamp, but the lamp isn't really projecting any light, and so that always irks me, especially with the first ones being so atmospheric, especially the first one being so atmospheric. This seemed kind of like a television special. I mean, a lot of these movies, a lot of these later ones, I guess they're just shot so quickly. It really is just, you can tell it's just like put up on some sticks and they just pan around, and then, and stuff. And so, there's no in and out. There's very few in and out movements. It's just.
Well, with this film, there also isn't any great, huge set pieces either. You gotta remember the last one we had the big bomb, the big fire over the house. We saw that burn.
That was cool.
In the mummy's hand, there was a lot that had to do with the tombs. Both Karis's tombs and Ananka's tombs. But in this one, you don't get a whole lot.
No.
You get that big exterior of the tomb, Ananka's tomb again, a recycled one, I'm assuming, and then the rolling barrel thing that looks exactly like it. Location, but it's like, obviously we all know these movies were made for the budgets kept going lower and lower, so they kept cutting and cutting, and the production values kept slipping, and so.
But they do have the museum stuff though, which they don't have that in the other ones. No, but it's not as big of a set.
Yeah, but I say it doesn't seem as nearly as big as it says some of the others do.
And I did love watching the mummy wreck the place. I mean, I just love watching people wreck stuff. I mean, I'm kind of a moron in that way, I'm just like, I
was cracking up, man. I was rolling with that mummy. He got madder than hell when like Ananka's body just completely dissolves when he thinks he's about to get his bride,
Right. I mean, good grief, how long does he gotta wait? He's right there, and presto changeo. Yeah, I mean, it's just like,
he just was wrecking the place, and then he makes such a ruckus, and brings the guy in there with a gun, and then the mummy gets shot again. Kills that guy. But that's pretty cool though when he takes the guy and throws him into that glass. It looks like that really friggin' hurt.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's basically the worst possible night for that guy, that security guard. He's got the cushiest job.
Yeah.
And then one night, a living mummy comes and kicks your ass. It's just like that guy's probably been doing that job for 28 years.
Right, yeah.
Eating too many donuts is what he was doing.
Eating donuts, chilling out. He listens to his Mystery Theater, and everything. And meanwhile, he's listening to Mystery Theater. It's like, ooh, the inner sanctum. And meanwhile, the room next door, they're performing like an ancient rite occult ritual to bring back the dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, like this one is very entertaining to me. I was very entertained by the whole thing, even though we're picking it apart. But I was just like, man, this is like hilarious, really.
No, it was good. It was good. I love watching the guy, poor mummy, going down that giant ramp. Oh my God, it's gonna be morning by the time he gets down that ramp.
Do either one of you know offhand whether or not this one played exclusively for the drive-in crowds? Because that would probably be why there's more humor in this movie and why some of the characters are so young. It's like the audience is starting to shift. for these movies.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the case, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I was going like, look at these college kids,
Yeah.
not even fighting over look at them living their cushy little lives while we got men over there getting blown to bits over in Europe and everything. I hope they're happy. And then they're so inept. I go like, yeah, they would have never cut it.
But it's not. You gotta remember this is taking place in 1970.
Right.
But
So it's
there's a similar war going on, but it's really the same war, but they just changed the year.
I forgot we discussed the timeline of these movies already.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
Oh my god, the timeline just kind of gets screwed up.
It's hilarious.
Well, it gets even worse in the next one. They go ahead, I think, another 20 or 30 years. So,
hell? So it's 1990.
Yeah,
it's like,
I think it's in the 90s, and it still looks the same. Everything.
Oh my god, they're not all wearing like flannel and stuff. They didn't call that.
They did. Well, they actually changed the location to New Orleans, and so everyone's talking Cajun. All of a sudden, they got Cajun accents. So.
Oh, okay.
There's no explanation to how the mummy got there. He just goes in a swamp in one movie and then ends up in Louisiana the next.
Well, yeah, those are swamps. They're all connected, so the current just took them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jason. What's it called? It's like what's it called? Crystal Lake is connected to the Hudson Bay or whatever.
Yeah. They probably got that from these movies.
There's no reason. It's just connected. We don't know how.
Water it flows to the ocean. So he was in somewhere. He was in Crystal Lake. It was in Crystal Lake. It flows to the ocean. I mean,
oh my god.
Yeah.
So after that museum bit, that's when we're introduced to the inspector character, who's a little bit better police guy than the sheriff, and also there's a new professor too who can read hieroglyphics.
Oh so, yeah, always comes in handy.
Yeah.
There's always a reliance on the police in these movies.
That's what I like. Yeah,
always so odd to me. I hadn't forgotten that until I started rewatching it. I was like, oh yeah, there is an over reliance on the police or authoritative presence in these movies.
Right. I mean, the Tom character could have been doing all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's like him and his friend from school. They should have been, his friend could have been knowing how to read hieroglyphics. He could have been like I've been doing that since he was a kid, you know?
Yeah. No, I think these movies I like the police procedural aspect of it because it's before all the CSI stuff, so they're going like, oh look, what's on the body? They always moving stuff around the crime scene. I'm just going like, there's no like. It's all like old school police work, but it is like Law and Order Massachusetts edition, where it's like they're kind of like I bet it's the Mummy.
Yeah. Like what do you make of it? And he's like, it looks like he was strangled, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's probably strangled.
Yeah,
and there's mold on it, so
there's
you know what
mold.
that means.
There's mold.
There's mold on his
mummy.
neck.
Gotta be the mummy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so this is the first part. What they needed to do is the second part of the show. Where's Mummy on trial?
yeah.
Clung clung.
But they that new inspector guy comes up with a pretty hilarious plan, though. It's like a Scooby-Doo plan.
Oh yeah.
So he wants to dig a big pit.
Oh,
then to trap the mummy in the pit, and then he's gonna crank up the Tana leaves, and they actually figure it out. They figured out the whole thing because the other guy can read hieroglyphics. They know that it's the full moon, 9 Tana leaves. They got it figured out.
Right.
But it doesn't work because the mummy is more interested in Ananka by that point.
Right. He's putting down the Tana leaves for a night and going to try to settle down.
Yeah. But the other guy's burning Tana leaves at the same time.
I was about to say, So the mummy is really fucking confused at the end of this movie. Who do I go towards? I'm just gonna go for the girl. Go for the girl.
Going for the girl.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny how that police stuff all ends up in a dead end, though. It's been like a pretty good bit of time developing a plan with the Tana leaves, and then it's like the pit's never used.
Yeah, you don't go building up a pit and then you don't introduce a pit in Act 2 and not have it pay off in Act 3.
The one woman almost ran into the pit.
Yeah. That would have been awesome. That's what should have happened, though, because because she should have fallen into the pit and there been spikes in there, and it's
mummy
like,
pit.
Yeah. But I mean, that would have been a perfect way to use the pit if you didn't want to capture the mummy in it. because I mean, I don't know. It's really odd that they introduced that and then don't use it.
You're right. I never thought about that till now. I never even thought about it until now. That's interesting.
I was just going like that poor deputy was just said like, all right, dig that pit, and he's going like, oh shit, I guess I'll get a shovel. Do I go rent a trowel?
Yeah.
I mean, do I go get a backhoe?
Yeah.
I mean, what? How much time do I got? I mean, there's no Home Depot. This is 1944.
They just put some leaves over the top of the pit. It's probably like 2 foot deep or something.
It's like, man, don't tell them we really kind of screwed up this pit. I didn't have time.
That's probably why
you gave me an hour to like dig a 8-foot pit to trap a mummy.
Yeah.
It probably did not have the budget to actually use a real pit.
Because it's all on a set,
Yeah. Oh my god. My god.
The pit. Thanks for reminding me about the pit, dude. That had me so excited. And I felt so bad for that deputy having to like
I was thinking that too. I'm like, the only way that they can accomplish this if they go and get a machine and come dig it, but then they gotta like make it look like it's not a pit,
No. It's the mummy's not stupid.
Yeah.
He should be. His brain should be rotted. But
the mummy would go in the other damn door. It's like the mummy be like, "Oh, there's a pit there. Let's just go in the front door."
We also had another scene of the extreme strength of the mummy, who with one arm can just like carry these ladies up ladders and down ladders. And everything. Now it was obviously a dummy in a few of the scenes, and everything, but I was going like, man, this mummy's just got the hardest time, dude. He's got a hard time.
In this movie,
yeah, and it's like, he has to bring her down that friggin' ladder to that ramp thing, It's like
3 stories high. Yeah. He's kind of like, do all that, one-handed going down a ladder. I was just going like, man, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Not even carrying somebody, just doing one-handed down a ladder. I've been so nervous.
How's he even carrying her? What he only has one hand? How's he carrying her?
I know. Yeah, because it's always like this, but I guess maybe it's not tied. Maybe it's just like palsy. He just hooks her on.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're thinking too much into this movie, dude.
That's true. Yeah, it was very entertaining. I would say it was better, but I think it was better for me just because you had that ending. I like the tragic ending of it.
Yeah.
I like them getting back together, and I'm going like, okay, it's not in Egypt, it's not in the tomb, but really, this should be the last one because they're reunited. And I've got to see this new one, this last one, and everything to close out the set. Before the Abbott and Costello come in, but I think okay, good. There's resolution to this one, so
I will say this is the one of the sequels where I remember the ending most clearly about what happened to Amina and the rest of them. I couldn't for the life of me until I rewatched it remember how the tomb ended, a Mummy's tomb, or how the Mummy's curse ended at all.
Right.
This one always stuck with me because of the tragic ending.
And
so I've always thought about this one as being one of the better ones. But again, I've seen the first two way more times than I've seen any of the other sequels in this franchise.
Yeah, it is like definitely the strongest ending in that whole the tragedy going into the swamp. But I think that the other ones are I guess bigger budgeted. This one's definitely this one's less of a budget, but they're a lot more creative at what they do with it.
I agree. Yeah, it's got a good beat to it. It pulls you along. But I just really like. I mean, John Carradine was such a presence.
He was really good in it too. So. And it's funny that character that character is usually a pretty strong actor in all of the films. That's really, he's one of the stronger characters. But this one, he actually gets like top billing in the opening credits and second billing in the end credits. But after John, Lon Chaney. But
yeah. And I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's only like maybe 30 seconds of emoting, but at least he got that of Lon Chaney getting to do something
Well,
with
he
the
got to crash the
character.
museum up. That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
that was pretty great. That was pretty great. That was pretty great.
It's the little things that we love about these movies. These little
Yeah.
little things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So,
is-
gentlemen, do you have any other fine words to say about the film?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It kind of, you know, it carries a lot of the stuff. You know, you had the townsfolk being rallied together to chase the mummy down. You had the girl tied to the altar again. The priest wanting, you know, throwing off his priestly duties to like be immortal with this lady who he just met. You know?
Yeah. Hey, let's. No, we didn't talk about that. This is hilarious because like the other ones are kind of built up a little bit.
Yeah.
This one happens out of the blue,
Yes.
and when he has this conversation, he actually has a voiceover with himself to figure out what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Right, right.
I
Yeah,
remember that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's,
These priests, yeah, need to like I don't know.
Get
I
out
guess
more.
they've just been hooked. They've just been too isolated for too
Yeah,
long.
they need to date more or something. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
something.
all
Yeah,
of them tend to want to go and get one of these alive women and make them dead so they can
yeah,
stay
yeah.
forever. I'm like, do you really want to stay with her forever, dude? Do you,
Yeah,
maybe, you know, maybe you just want like a 20 years. Let's just
Yeah.
try that
why'd
first.
you try? Yeah, try it out a little bit
Right,
first. See if
right.
you even
Have
like her. You
have
know?
a conversation with her for Pete's sake. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just see if you,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
see if you can
Yeah.
stand her for like 5 minutes in a room. You know, just talking.
She may actually turn around and stab you in the back, and you made her immortal.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, you'd
I
never be rid of her.
So the narration at the end is a line from the same scene when, but the high priest says at the end after they go in the swamp and you see the close up of the dog. I think it shows the water again. He says, "The fate of those who defied the will of the ancient gods shall be a cruel and violent death."
Hmm.
So what does it mean? I don't think
Yeah,
it
I
means
don't.
anything.
Yeah, I think they just needed
It
something spooky.
yeah,
It
yeah.
don't
has
think
nothing
it
to do
means
with.
anything in terms. I think it was trying to mean something for what happens to Amina, but it really doesn't, in my opinion.
Yes, for the Bannons and all the people in the last two movies. Yes, they got
Yeah.
what they deserved.
Yeah,
All right.
who defied the ancient gods here? I don't know.
No one
You
did.
know,
That's why it's like,
it's
yeah.
yeah, other than the priest, like you said, and I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. The priest got what he deserved.
Yeah, the priest
for
defied
going
his own
against
gods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, that mummy smacks him across the face. He like slaps the shit out of him before he throws him off the thing. He backhands him. You know.
That was great. It was great. I like to see the mummy sticking up for himself. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. It was good, man.
Oh my God. I can't stop laughing, guys. Anything else you'd like to add about this movie?
Nah, I think we're good.
That was a good one
Yeah.
to bring up because we that is very important to bring up what the final narration of the movie and how that affects the rest of the film, which in our opinions it really doesn't. Not the
They're like, man, that sounded cool. Let's just take that line he said earlier, like a few scenes back, and we're going to like put it there at the end, and people are gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Wrap it up, cut to the dog, and we have got a winner. We got a winner.
All right, so guys, I want to thank you for talking to me about this movie, The Mummy's Ghost from 1944. What we do, everyone, at the end of our program is we like to sit down and kind of decide where on the spectrum this film lies in terms of a rating. We go from 1 star being good, 5 stars being excellent. Where on the spectrum do you place the film? We'll start with you, Conkle.
Yeah, I give it a 2.5. There was some things that I really didn't like about it. I didn't think it was atmospheric enough as compared to the other ones, and I didn't get the 1-2 punch coin other side of the coin that I got out of Hand and Tomb. But I liked this enough. I give it 2.5 stars. Well, I'll give it What did I think I gave the other one as taken as a set. I probably gave it 3 stars. I'll give it's 2.5 for me, man. It's right in the middle. There's for everything I liked, there was something I didn't like.
All right, what about you, Dave?
This is like what I consider to be a good bad movie. It's not good, but I'm going to give it 3 stars because I like the pacing of it, and I like it that they just didn't hardly give a shit that much about it and just kind of
Yeah.
redid the other stuff. But it's not a good movie. But I'm going to give it 3 stars anyway because I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, it's never boring,
Yeah.
and it is it's a solid mummy movie. I mean, it's you got the mummy strangling people, so
Yeah.
you know.
So I enjoy this one more than I did the last one. We discussed some of the stuff that I didn't really like about the last one. I enjoyed this one for the tragic ending. I do see it as a tragic ending, and most of these films don't have a tragic ending like that one. So this is the one that stuck with me, the ending wise, more so than Mummy's Tomb or The Mummy's Ghost, which I barely remember anything from The Mummy's Ghost.
It really is a good ending, though. I mean, it's bad, but it's a one that stays with you, and it's a pretty bold move by them.
Well, when you go, I'm sorry. When you compare it to other Universal horror movies, usually it's the man and the woman holding each other. It's like, "Are you okay, dear? I'm fine, dear." And then like, cut the end. This is like the opposite.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Go
for
character
it.
is so tragic when he sees Amina turned into Anaka's corpse. He just and then he turns away, and he can't fathom looking back up again, and that just sticks with me, and that always just sticks with me. So I give it a 3 for that. So there are a lot of that. This is not a great movie because it borrows so much from some of the other ones, but there are some elements in it I really do like. And John Carradine's one of them, and I like the actress who plays Amina, and certain things like that I have no problems with. And the fact that there's not a bunch of old guys, Egyptian guys, made it refreshing. I like the second one, A Mummy's Hand, the first one obviously, and I like this one next. So that's how my opinions on the franchise go. So
okay.
You mean the Karras movie specifically? Because the original Mummy I think's better than the other ones, but
well, it's got Boris Karloff, dude.
Yeah. But it's almost like this is their own thing, though. There's that one, and then there's these 4 Karras Mummy films. So.
Yeah, it's really like the Mummy is really a standalone thing.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's just a completely night and day different vibe.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good perspective. It's a complete night and day between the two franchises, so to speak. But guys, I want to thank you for talking with me on The Mummy's Ghost. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun, as usual. We're kicking back, enjoying the Universal monster films, as usual, which we will continue to do throughout the year. So if you are a fan of these films, please make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, do that thing you do with your favorite podcast and your favorite podcast apps, Spotify and YouTube. We will be hitting up more Universal Pictures films throughout the year. We have a mandate to eventually get through all of them, so make sure to check out our previous episodes. We've done several of the Frankenstein Universal horror movies, and we've done the Creature from the Black Lagoon movies, and we've done Dracula. So there's plenty of the episodes we've already done to hint upon what we have in store for you for the coming year. From all of us here at Something Wicked Entertainment, Broken Lighthouse Pictures, and Conversations in Horror, we want to wish you a pleasant day. And don't forget to check out Conversations in Hammer Studio Horrors, which also delves in horror films, especially as we have already tackled a lot of the Mummy movies from that studio as well. Have a good day, and I will see you on our next episode. Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production, written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers, executive producer Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.